Hello everybody, and welcome to Game Ideas number 2. Yes, I'm still doing this series, even if none of you actually watch it. So yes, welcome back to Game Ideas 2. Now, this week was a bit of an interesting one. Not too much happened, but I've been rewatching Legend of Korra, and that got me thinking, why has there never been a good Avatar game? And I had a look at them and realized that there have been some Avatar games. Just one of them, the Legend of Korra game, apparently was average and the rest were all rubbish. But I thought, why is that? Because it's such a good video game material premise. And so I thought I'd like to pitch 2 ideas for you guys today. And if you actually are a game designer and you ever want to make one of these, please do. In fact, I'll recommend you to everyone I know, and yada yada yada. Alright, the first one was, well, the obvious one I was thinking of was, why not do a standard RPG? Like a Witcher Knights of the Old Republic style game, where you play as the Avatar. Set it, alright, I know you're skeptical, well, let me explain. Don't worry about the time period. Set it 1,000 years before, Avatar: The Last Airbender, or don't even bother putting a time frame on it. Or maybe you might have to. So maybe set it 1,000 years before, and you play as a completely random avatar. Right? You choose what you look like. Okay? There's an in-depth character customizer. Okay? And you choose, male or female. Where do you start? Are you a Fire Nation citizen, an Earth Kingdom citizen? Water tribe, air nomad, okay, and then you choose your appearance, you choose, background, were you born in Ba Sing Se in the upper districts, or were you born in the southern water tribe in a poorer district, and all of this together combines to make your starting initial stats, which, help along with the game. So, for example, if you choose to start as an Earth Kingdom citizen, then you will automatically unlock Earthbending, all the basic Earthbending moves. Okay? And then as you go along, you have basically open world choice. Do you carry on with the Avatar journey and master all the elements and save the world, or do you bugger it and go around exploring and adventuring instead and master the elements at your own pace? Do you want to join one of your nation's armies and fight alongside them? Do you want to fight bandits? Do you want to, basically the whole game world is opened up for you and you get the choice of what to do. And there'll also be, exciting, fun NPCs in the BioWare style that, can assist you on your journey, and they, might have their own quest lines and struggles and hopes and dreams and things like that. And it would be, it would be a really interesting, exciting game. I mean, I'd play the shit out of that. I'd play it for hours. Because every playthrough can be different. I mean, you start off as a waterbender, and then, you go along and decide, okay, I'm going to learn, I'm not going to learn, earthbending now. I'm going to go, visit the Fire Nation instead. There's all these different, open worlds and exciting, places to discover and do, and it would be awesome. I'd love to play it. This is just me spitballing here. What else? I have actually done a bit of thinking about this. For the combat engine, I'd recommend, definitely for airbending and possibly for firebending, chop up the Arkham Asylum free flow combat engine. Because the free flow, rapid punching and movement would be really good for airbending, the fast, fluid motion of airbending. And some of the combos and hits would be really good for firebending. I think waterbending would be more projectile-based weaponry. I think earthbending would probably be the hardest one for physics to encode, because, well, as with earthbending, you'd have to pick up rocks and throw them. So, would you have destructible environments in for that one? Would you not? You've got all of these different decisions to make. But it would be a genuinely fun game. And you could have background storytelling as well, which would be exciting, You could go visit the spirit world, and you could do quests in the spirit world, or you could ignore the spiritual side and focus on the physical world. You could be the avatar you've always wanted to be. Because fans of the series, you've always thought about what you'd be like if you were Avatar, weren't you? And don't lie, because I don't appreciate that very much. You all know. You've all thought about, I'd love to be a firebender, or I'd love to be an airbender. So, let's just agree that it would be an awesome idea and go from there. Alright, what else? What else? Yeah, you could have, background storytelling, you could have background wars if you wanted a bit more conflict that you could involve yourself in, or you could use the, be the Avatar and mediate in the, in the middle and diffuse the situation. It would be a genuinely fun, interesting game with a good, open, varied world. You'd add good, nice, BioWare-style NPCs with each with their own characters and struggles and flaws and things like that, because, you could have your own party, your own Sokka, your own Katara, stuff like that, and it would just be, a really genuine, good, fun game for all to play. So, yeah, that's the first game I'd recommend. It's just, remember, this isn't too in detail. These are just me spitballing ideas and throwing them out there while they're still in my head. Okay, and the second game I'd think about is actually very much within the similar motif of the previous game I recommended, which is I wouldn't call it an MMO, because I dislike MMOs immensely, but a co-op RPG, where set at maybe 5-10 years after Legend of Korra, or maybe a year, 2 years after Legend of Korra, I suppose. And it's a co-op RPG, and you and your friends can go around, the New Republic, the Fire Nations, and the world, and, just go on adventures, You and your friends could all get together. You could choose, do you want to be a firebender from, can't think of a Fire Nation city. Do you want to be an earthbender from, Lower Ba Sing Se? You could have one friend who's a firebender, one friend who's an airbender. You could have someone who's a non-bender if they want to make the game more difficult for themselves. There's a whole bunch of awesome things you could do. You could have a bit of interesting storytelling. You could visit Republic City, the North Pole, the South Pole. You could fight rogue spirits left after, the spirit infusion. You could fight remnants of Kuvera's army. You could join the new United Federation army and, fight against enemies and bandits. You could just, cruise around and be a trader. You could be you could be a raider or a bandit if you really wanted to. It would be such an awesome, exciting, fun experience for you and your Avatar-liking friends. I mean, have a whole party together, just cruise around, you could fly in airships, you can, visit the New Republic, Republic City. It would be an intense, exciting, interesting, gonna go for economy. Interesting experience that, would really add a lot to it. Once again, I'm spitballing, but, let me know what you guys think, because I think it has potential. Now, the biggest thing if you were doing a Legend of Korra setting is don't add the original characters into it at all. You can reference them, you can reference Korra, you can reference all the other ones, but I find it takes away from the experience if you're actually adding in the characters from the show. It'll come off as hollow and token, and, I don't think it will be, that exciting personally. I know lots of fans will gush over at it, but I don't think that's the right call to make. And once again, you can chop up the Arkham Asylum combat engine for airbending, have a more solid, system for earthbending, firebending, and waterbending, standard projectile crossed with melee, combat system, so it wouldn't be too taxing for the system. You could also have weapons as well, if you wanted someone who wanted to play as like a Sokka character who didn't have bending, then you could have, someone who just goes around, with a sword or a bow and arrow, if they want to make the game more difficult for themselves. I think it would be a really fun, interesting experience, and it would be awesome. I don't know why they've never made this game in the first place, because it's instantly, if I think of Avatar: The Last Airbender game, that's what I think of. I think of an RPG where you get to play as your own avatar, or you get to play as a co-op RPG with your friends, and you know, bum around the world of Avatar. I mean, come on, visiting Republic City and driving around fighting the Agni Kais, that'd be cool. Or going into the desert and fighting sandbenders. Since the spirit portals are open, you could even go into the spirit world and fight dark spirits if you wanted to. The opportunities for this game are immense. It would cost a shitload of money, just along on the graphics and the build engine alone, but considering that they make crap like the Order 1886 and they make a new Call of Duty every year, I'm pretty sure there will be some interesting or good developer out there that would actually be willing to take a risk and get the intellectual rights to make this game and actually make a series of really good Avatar games. Because it's profitable, guys. There is actually quite a large fan base for Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. And, I mean, they'd play that game. Fans of good RPGs would play that game. If you did good marketing and you actually advertised it properly, then you could get a lot of, just random people to play that game. I don't see how it's a negative thing in any way for you to make the game. All you need to do is just take the time to make it. Don't rush it out. Just take the time, refine the combat, refine the game world. The graphics, you don't even need to make them that, intense. Use the same animation style as from the show. It cuts a few corners in the budget department, and everyone will think that you're really impressive by the fact that you're sticking to the aesthetic theme of the game. Not the game, the aesthetic theme of the show. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you're actually watching this video, by the way, because I don't expect anyone to except for myself. And let me know what you think of this idea, but I think, in my personal opinion, it's a winner. As I said, I've only been thinking about this, over the last few days, and I haven't had the time to fully get into the ideas and, marketing and crap like that. But as the base concept alone, I think it's solid. So, yeah, let me know your opinion in the comments below, guys. I'm interested to hear all of your opinions and ideas, and what would you do for a combat system, and, how would you, interact the fluff with the gameplay, and yada yada yada. And, yeah, thank you for listening to my random ideas that come up in my head. And I guess I'll see you all again with a new idea another time. Bye bye.